Like I mentioned, let's talk about what is happening in West Asia. Adrian Calimel is a fellow at Arabian Peninsula Institute, terrorism and Middle Eastern scholar. Mr. Calimel is now joining us from New York. Thank you for your time. Now that it is evident that a regional war is now visible for everyone to see, what will be the consequences of either side, be it Israel or Hezbollah, declaring war?
Great question. Thank you for having me. Great to see you again, Eric. We have to remember October 8th, Hezbollah started launching rockets on Israel, following up on the October 7th attacks, and it's increased. So we have to put into context that roughly 100,000 Israelis have had to move out of settlements in the north. And the Israeli War Cabinet has just put in that this is the fourth element or objective of the Gaza war, is to make sure these people can go back and live in their homes. They cannot live in their homes when Hezbollah is indiscriminately shelling, as they have been since October 8th. So I'm sorry to say, but Hezbollah probably should have seen this coming, that this was an unsustainable situation for the Israelis. But here we are almost a year later, and this objective has been added, and it really it's a scary proposition. It really is, because Hezbollah, with the backing of the Islamic Republic of Iran, has multiple weapon systems, munitions. They can also deploy other proxies as well. So it's a scary time for everyone, I would say.
It's a scary time indeed. Let me just ask you this. What do you make of this escalation? Because it has been a few days now. Hezbollah is hitting at Israel. Israel is hitting back. And it seems like a cycle. How would you explain this sort of escalation? What is really happening? Who is doing what?
Well, what I see, what really happened was after the pagers and then the incident with the handheld radios and everything, it was pretty clear that Israel was starting to prep the groundwork or for the next stage of the war. They've eliminated senior officials within the Radwan forces. You mentioned one that has just been eliminated. Fuad Shukur was the most prominent that was eliminated. So they have been essentially prepping the battlefield. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now, is that Israel is prepping the battlefield. They have been, over this time, taking out leaders, taking out infrastructure, taking out precision-guided missiles, taking out weapons depots, while Hezbollah is amping up the type of munitions that they fire into Israel and the frequency. But it's being plucked off by the Iron Dome. The question is, what else do they have? How do they implement? How effective are they? And do they actually trust them after all the issues with electronics and Israeli infiltration with pager systems, communication systems? It makes it difficult to fight a war when you don't have comms.
Mr. Calimel, before I let you go, what can be done now to control this sort of escalation from spreading like a wildfire in the region, which will be hard to pacify if the number of casualties and even disagreements continue to rise between Israel, Hezbollah, Iran, Gaza, and the list goes on?
Yeah, that's a great question, Eric. And I think if we look at it all, we have to go back to the source of this. We have to look at Tehran and the Islamic Republic of Iran. They're at the United Nations General Assembly right now. The president's there. I think Javad Zarif is there. They should be the ones that are being pressured to cease and desist. Stop this immediately. They control the Houthis, they control the proxies, they control Hezbollah, they control Hamas. Those groups don't have much agency.
All right, I've been talking to Mr. Adrian Calimel, who's a fellow at Arabian Peninsula Institute, terrorism and Middle Eastern scholar. We'll have to leave it there. Mr. Calimel, thank you, as always, for talking to WION World is One today.
Thank you, Eric.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.